Hello everyone, CrystalFissure here.
And welcome back to another Spyro Reignited Trilogy video. I am in desperate need of a haircut, but more important than whether I need a haircut or not is whether I should talk about something that I wanted to talk about since all of this Toys for Bob released, Twitter released artwork, concept art has surfaced. Yeah, I want to talk about the IGN stuff where there was, a bunch of concept art released as well today and some comparison footage. We'll look at that a little bit later. But basically what I want to talk about is most of the artwork that's been released and then why I believe that it would be very, very, very beneficial of Toys for Bob to release, an art book. Basically, the art of Reignited. I've heard that term, floating around, and I think great. They can do something like that, or the artwork of Spyro the Dragon, the artwork of the Spyro trilogy. Toys for Bob presents Spyro 2 Electric Boogaloo. Who knows? I want to talk about that because I think it's very, very interesting. So I'm going to go over some of the new artwork we've got here, and then we'll talk about that a bit more in depth, and then we'll go into the more general topic. So the first image we've got here is of Artisans Home. This is where the balloonist will be. Spyro is over on the right side there, but the balloonist is nowhere to be seen. But this is in the Artisans, and this is just gorgeous. This is proving, this is essentially proving my point. Not that, I guess it's not really a point to be made, but it's more proving the idea that it would be nonsensical to not release an art book, because you've got here a beautiful rendition of Artisans. If this came out before the Reignited Trilogy or whatever, if you showed this to anyone before the game came out, surely it would inspire someone to at least see Spyro in this kind of setting. This is probably what in reality Insomniac would have wanted to see, if they had the graphics of the time, like it's absolutely gorgeous the way that the light reflects and stuff like that. That kind of is sort of hand painted, like it's quite, like if you look at it, like Spyro's not like doesn't have a bunch of detail to it. It's more, it almost looks like a painting. Like it's a painting that you could honestly hang up. It's truly gorgeous, very, very, very nice. I'm a massive fan of it. Then we have, and look, there's actually like appears to be smoke like circling sort of like in the dragon mouth. That is the toasty portal area. Again, another fantastic job. The textures on the walls as well, it feels like Artisans. It's fantastic. I'm not going to be saying anything negative here, because I'm just genuinely very, very, very excited about it. Just looking at this artwork, it's very cool. I like how it sort of almost looks like moss is formed on the dragon as well, which is very nice. But yeah, the addition of heat or steam or something like that coming from the dragon is a very cool idea. Then another IGN image, we have a picture of the old mate dragon here. He is quite detailed, quite more detailed than the other ones, and that actually brings up the whole point. Remember we were talking about how we were saying, what would it be like if all the dragons actually looked slightly different, the different shapes of the dragons depending on the shape, because they're all like the same. Then when they come out, they're all different, in the original game, because obviously they couldn't make like 80 different dragon, separate models for them. So I understand why, but in Reignited, will they all be different? I guess we'll find out. Now I've already gone over this guy. This is our friend from Town Square. I've talked about him briefly before, so I'm supportive of the Norks. I think it looks pretty damn cool. The ball, of course, as well. High caves we've gone over. I'm just cycling through. This is Dark Hollow, which looks really cool. Look, there's a dragon in the corner that looks like a dragon or like some kind of philosopher or something. Is that the dragon that you find in Dark Hollow as well? Lots of candles around as well. Candles around books. I don't know, lads. I don't know. Is that the smartest idea? Is that the smartest idea? I don't know. It probably isn't, realistically. Realistically, it's more realistic. I wanted to talk about this, but then all of a sudden all this stuff came out, and all of a sudden I got busy, and yeah, this is what am I trying to say? I'm freezing up here. I'm not even gonna cut that out. This is Toys for Bob basically saying, hey look, you want fog, you're gonna get fog, but this is concept art, and this is, of course, Misty Bog, and it's looking really cool. Some people have made comparisons to Crash Bandicoot, but if you actually look at it in game, it is kind of similar in the sense that it's got a lot of, back in the day, back in the day, you know, doing a swamp in a PS1 kind of atmosphere, you're not going to have that depth to the grass and stuff like that. I anticipate like long grass and stuff like that, and that is something that I think is an improvement. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it is actually a good thing to have that, because it's going to differentiate the two, and that may be unpopular. You know, we've had the debate, you know, whether it's like faithful or reimagined or whatever. But in Misty Bog's case, if it is still foggy and kind of gloomy and stuff like that, and like this picture here, I'll be very happy. Which brings me to this point, which has been up for debate, I guess. This is people have you know, discuss this, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a positive thing to have all this detail down here. And I would say I am a fan of this, because what I like about it is that if you look at the original shot, you'll see that there's some treasure chests and stuff like that there and everything. That's great, but there's not much else. You know, there's, I think, an enemy down there or something like that. There's not much else. This version of it expands on that idea. You know, the lighting, I think, is going to look excellent in this section as well. Like, you're going to get a lot of cool stuff, I think. I think you need to wait and see. I know that that sounds a bit like a wrestling fan's catch-all thing for whenever, like, there's bad booking. But I would say in, like, Spyro's case, a wait-and-see approach is honestly not a bad thing. Now, going from better to even better, if you ask me, a truly magnificent picture of, well, this appears to be Stone Hill, and by appears, it literally is. And this is great. Again, another argument. I don't even have to, like, I can just be like, I can talk for like 2 seconds, right, after I've gone through these images, these last few images, and be like, yep, and that's why they should do an art book. Like, it's that simple to me. But this here is Stone Hill, and what I love about Stone Hill is that it's so whimsical and like storybook style. Like, it feels like something I would read as a kid. You know, like something I'd read, you know, like in a storybook, an adventure. It's what I thought of in my head, you know, when I was like thinking up like sort of dragon stories and stuff like that. I used to write my own Spyro guidebooks about like future games, like a Spyro and Crash. I used to do like Spyro and Crash, like crossover games and stuff like that. And I'd make it, and this is how I'd imagine. I draw things like this, and obviously nowhere near as good. Fantastic. Love the fountains. Love all that. I actually don't mind that, you know, the blue roofs, to be honest. I actually don't have a problem with that. Like, I think it looks nice. Then, of course, reminding us that our friend, the ram, whatever, sheep, what are they called? Goats? Yeah, sheep, jeez. Angry sheep, I guess, with horns. Looking very cool, so they're obviously going to be included. And then the footage I'm about to show off in a sec, that'll be, oh, actually, I'll save it to the end, because I'll keep you guys on the hook with the IGN stuff. Yeah, great stuff. And then, of course, our friend, the egg thief, in painstaking detail, which may terrify some of you. Like, what the heck is that guy? And the dragon is pretty small as well, smaller than they would be in Spyro 3, which is interesting. I wonder actually if they're going to make all of the dragon eggs uniform in game, like, because you think about it, you capture them in Spyro 1. And then in Spyro 3 they look different, but originally the dragon eggs didn't look as good in the, I mean, this is in earlier versions of Spyro, but they actually, in Spyro 3 they actually look more like the Spyro 1 ones, so that is interesting. But yeah, very cool. Anyway, so showing off all that stuff, I'm glad that I've got you guys now, because I know people have wanted me to talk about it and stuff. I know that other people have talked about it quite a lot at length, and it's great. So much to discuss with Spyro, it's going crazy. But I want to talk about why I think it was such a good idea to release this kind of thing. Obviously, of course, you've got the money argument, right? The money argument will always prevail. There'll always be the idea that, oh, you know, do it because you'll make money. And yeah, of course, I actively, you know, when it comes to Toys for Bob, if they do a great job, I hope they're rewarded for it. You know, like, it's that simple. That's not really a shill thing to say. I think that that's still a fair assessment to make, is that I think that they deserve to make, you know, money if the game is good. If it's bad, well, we'll see. You never know. A game could come out and it not be great. But if it's good, I hope they're rewarded. But thinking about it from like a brand, a marketing perspective, you've got, yeah, of course, releasing it will hopefully make money. It'll be popular. It'll be a great thing. You've got a massive hardcore fan base, and I think that slowly but surely, not Toys for Bob, I think they probably know, but Activision have probably figured out that this is quite a hardcore fan base that is very passionate about the series. And so actually releasing things like this, like that is actually has value, that is hugely important. You know, when you're releasing Skylanders action figures, right, you've got these, you know, these figures that cost all this money to play, you know, they're essentially hidden behind a paywall. That well is going to run out, and I mean, it probably already has, you know, like as I've talked about with Imaginators not doing as well and stuff like that. Clearly, you know, if you overcharge and you rip people off by trying to, you know, essentially create these purposeless figures, I mean, they do have a purpose, but it feels so, you know, forced and kind of, you know, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Eventually people are going to, you know, they're going to be able to buy them and stuff like that, but then eventually they're going to get bored of them or run out of time or, you know, just not be able to do it. Whereas an art book, you know, you charge 30 to 50 bucks, you make it nicely printed, it's in color, it's beautiful. You'll have people put that on their coffee table, you know, much like you know, Cosmo Kramer's coffee table book from Seinfeld, which I always actually, I kind of do want. Actually, yeah, there's such a great Seinfeld book. It's called The Coffee Table Book and has like all this extra stuff in the episodes. I need to get that. Thanks for reminding me myself. But yeah, you know, here's an example. Like actually, you guys, some of the OG Spyro fans will be very happy to see this. This is the Dragon Shores art book here. That's like a fan magazine with some incredible artwork. Yeah, and I'll link to this in the description as well. I don't want to show off too much of it because I don't want to make people, I do want people to buy this for sure. But yeah, here's some of the artists as well. Let's see who we got here. Some more artists. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. Credit to all these guys. Definitely. This was, yeah, anyway, the point is this is like a really cool fan magazine. But imagine a truly professionally done one by Toys for Bob. It would be money. Secondly, the other point is, of course, the fans will be happy. As I've just talked about at length, everyone is positive about the artwork. I feel like the artwork has almost drawn a more positive reaction than the gameplay. Like there is barely any negative comments about the artwork at all. And I think that that's great. And obviously if people disagree, that's fine. You need to say, I don't like the artwork. Fair enough. But the vast majority of people like it. And to me, it seems like a no-brainer to release the artwork. Another reason why I want the artwork released in a professional context is I would love to see the people that are putting together this artwork, the hard workers at Toys for Bob, be credited as well. That's of course, you know, I think that's a big thing. I would love to know who's actually designing, who's actually making these pictures, who's painting them, drawing them, designing them, whatever. Like the whole process. I want everyone to be credited. I would love them to be financially compensated for their work as well. I mean, that's the good thing. That is one good thing about working, you know, for like a AAA sort of game publishing company. As you know, as much as we hate them at times, I think one good thing is that there is the time and the budget to actually work on stuff like this, like to actually look at it and you know, it's not a waste of time to make this art. But what more, you know, it would be so, you know, easy for them to take what they've got and they can monetize this work from what usually goes into a design process, right? And it just sort of becomes eaten in the cost. It's just what it costs. Now you've actually got people that you can actually make money from that. You can actually make money about all different elements of the process, and lots of businesses do that now. You know, that's not something that is exclusive to like video games. You got plenty of companies that find a way to monetize everything. You know, people are fascinated with things from behind the scenes. You can make documentaries about the making of a documentary, and then, you know, and so forth and so on. You know, so yeah. Anyway, I'm going to show off these quick clips now of the comparison that IGN released, which shows off some more stuff, which is interesting. So here's the IGN footage here. It looks like there's almost a different color filter, like a slight purple filter going over the footage here from the background. I don't know, it doesn't look exactly the same as the other one, but yeah, it still looks pretty damn nice. I love this section though. I actually think that the castle looks really good here, better than in the original screenshots as well. Then slowed down as well. If you look at it, the gem collection isn't, I don't think it's quite as good as it is in the original game, but I mean, that could be not final because as we have seen before, the hitboxes don't look to be entirely done either. To me, the HUD as well, HUD in the original game, a lot better, but again, not sure if final. But yeah, look at the castle there. It looks just more grand, you know, and obviously I still love the original. I still love everything about the original game, but honestly, it looks very, very nice here, and I love this little corridor. I can't wait to go through the fire. Look at it. Yep, I'm gonna say no more. And there we have it. Guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it for you. I'll be back soon with more stuff. E3 is just around the corner. I actually can't remember the date, but I believe it's in less than a week, isn't it? I think so. I rather embarrassingly have not got the date up in front of me. I don't actually know, but yeah, it should be not too far away. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye and good night, bang.